Excuse me, is your name Simon?
Yes, sir.
It is you. We went to school together.
This is my wife, Robin. This is, I didn't get your name.
Gordon Mosley. Gordo.
Gordo? Oh, my God. I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you. It's been a very, very long time.
Saw the movie, loved it. I was terrified because the entire first part of the movie, you're kind of expecting something bad to happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen, and then you think, oh my God, it's gonna happen now, and then it doesn't happen. The movie actually makes a really potent statement about the long-term effects of bullying, which I wasn't expecting. Is that something that you have personal experience with?
I think the sad thing is, I think everybody has personal experience with bullying. You know, whether they were a bully or whether they were a victim of bullying, or both, as is the case with me, or you were at school and you saw it happen and you didn't say anything, or, you know, school is such a kind of terrifying place for a lot of people that it just felt like good subject matter for a story about time and consequence and cruelty. And I just had an idea that it would be quite a scary prospect that so many years after high school, someone from your past might come back into your life and say, hey, do you remember me? And if you hadn't have been a good person, that could be, you know, quite a difficult situation.
So you said you've had experiences from both sides?
Yeah.
You've been a bully?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know whether technically you'd call it bullying, more like, you know, because the classic image of a bully is like, you know, big guy with like two giggling sort of henchmen behind him, just sort of pushing other kids around and stealing lunch money. I wasn't that organised or controlled, but you know those situations where you get kids who are, you know, ostracising a single kid or other kids, and it's that pack mentality of going, you know, we're safe because we're a gang and we're going to treat someone badly. I've definitely been a part of that.
Oh, wow. Well, it's hard for me to imagine someone bullying you. But you've actually experienced that also?
Yeah, well, you know, the other thing about school is you start school and you're little, and then you get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and along that way, other kids are bigger than you. And I remember when I was just starting high school, having a couple of instances where I felt very scared of kids that were bigger and older than me. And that really, I think, teaches some kids a lesson. It's like when you feel what it's like to be victimised, it's very hard then, I think, to then go and be cruel to other kids, although it still happens, you know.
Now, I've seen you now in Animal Kingdom. That was the first time that I saw you. In Warrior, in The Odd Life of Timothy Green, in this movie, all extremely different characters, very different. Is there a particular character you've played that hits closest to home for you?
I mean, I love all the characters, you know, and I love doing all sorts of different things. Ironically, it's harder to play the characters that are very much a reflection of me, and I think certain movies like Wish You Were Here, you know, which is another Australian movie, felt like I was playing some version of myself. And a movie like Warrior, which, you know, there's less kind of character gimmicks going on. But Warrior was a very special movie for me, just in terms of working incredibly hard on something and feeling the satisfaction of that hard work come into being a very special piece of film, you know.
I loved you in that movie, and I was very sympathetic with your character over the other characters in the movie. But here you are in this movie playing a character that is in one sense, he's sort of a villain, and in another sense, he's sort of the sympathetic character. Was that a difficult balancing act?
It was. You know, you want to create a character who is believably a grown-up version of a child who had been criticised for being weird. And so in some ways you want to kind of be a little bit not scared of him, but unsure of him, but not too much so that this couple wouldn't invite him into the house. So it was a very, you know, difficult balancing act. On a broad scale, as a writer and director, I wanted a movie that shows you these roles. You go, here's the good couple and here's the bad guy, but then not make it so easy for the audience to read it that way. Go, well, maybe the bad guy and the good guy might not necessarily be what you think. And that was the real trick. And as a person making a movie that's suspenseful, I believe the real golden rule is like nothing should be what it seems, including the characters. So for those things to shift, it was very important.
Now, the movie is already out in the United States, and it's done very well. It actually outperformed Meryl Streep's new movie at the box office. Were you surprised to see how well it did?
I had a feeling like we'd made a good movie. It was hard to really tell whether the audience was going to receive the movie and go and see it. You know, it's a difficult thing to succeed in Hollywood with a movie that's made for we made a movie for $5 million that's competing with much bigger budget movies. But I really believe if you tell a good story, you know, particularly movies that create a sense of mystery, but if you tell a good story and you do it well, then people will find an audience. And you just got to really trust yourself. And I think that storytelling on a small scale can feel just as big as a superhero movie. And we're very proud of that.
You're really throwing me today because I'm so accustomed to hearing you do these flawless American accents. How in the world did you develop the ability to do such a great American accent?
Well, I blame the Australian broadcasting of my childhood, because all the TV I watched when I was a kid was Brady Bunch, Happy Days, 8 is Enough, all these American TV shows, Gilligan's Island. And I think as kids, you know, Australian kids are always listening to American voices, and it must somehow sort of embed itself in the brain somewhere, because I think Australian actors can be quite good at doing American accents. And so I blame television.
Thank you so much, Joel. I really appreciate
thank you
taking the time to talk to me.
Simon Says, new house. Simon Says, beautiful wife. Simon Says, you think you're done with the past, but the past is not done with you.